Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence?
Yeah, you told me that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Announcements. Fire evacuation plan. Please note that in the event of an emergency, the fire department has requested that legislators and all others move at least 1 block away from the county office building in order not to impede the firefighters in their duties. Cell phones. Please silence cell phones for the duration of the session. Microphones. Please be reminded to use your microphone when you are speaking so that you are recorded for the official record. Roll call. Allen.
Here.
Bartels.
Here.
Belfilio.
Here.
Berkey.
Here.
Briggs.
Present.
DeLon.
Here.
Donaldson.
Here.
Fabiano.
Here.
Gerantine. Green.
Here.
Hepner.
Here.
Lapp.
Here.
Litz.
Here.
Lopez.
Here.
Lauren. Mayo.
Here.
Maloney.
Here.
Parity John.
Here.
Parity Richard. Roberts. Rodriguez. Ronk.
Here.
And Waro.
Here.
22 present, 1 absent.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting. Second? All in favor? Opposed? Right now, we're going to move into a period of public comment. Speakers will have 3 minutes to address the legislature. Please, if you can, keep it to the topic of the special meeting, which is the 2017 Ulster County budget. Sorry, I'm getting my years all screwed up here. 1 year to another, Hector. And tonight we do not have a timekeeper, so please do your best to keep it to 3 minutes, and we'll be keeping time up here.
There are 3 speakers signed up at this point, and Linda Marston Reed is the first speaker.
Greetings to all of the legislators. I am the executive
Microphone's not on. Excuse me. I did that 20 seconds from her.
Thank you very much. I want to send greetings to all the legislators. I'm Linda Marston Reed. I'm the Executive Director of Arts Mid-Hudson. I want to thank you for your continued support of the arts and culture, and it has a history where Ulster County Arts Council disintegrated years and years ago before I came on board. And what happened was, through your advocacy and recognition that arts and culture are a really important part of economic development here in Ulster County, the legislators were responsible for bringing this back, and we have administered this fund since then. When I came on board several years ago, I came out to Ulster County and I started noticing that there is a huge amount of very talented artists here. And our office is in Dutchess County, but it was very noticeable, to say the least, that there was a huge need out here that wasn't really being served. And so we just started being out here more. And starting in 2015, we actually made a commitment that we were going to have 1 person here from the staff in Ulster County, going to meetings, going to communities, talking to people, helping artists, helping arts organizations. So on the ground work. And we see still a lot of need. So this year in our budget, I did ask for a slight increase. And the increase actually gives a little bit more towards the funding that you give out, but it also helps to pay for that staff person to be out running around, holding meetings, making sure that the artists, the arts organizations, the community groups that are here get that service. So I want to assure you we have a very small budget and we spend it very carefully. And I think that if if I had a huge windfall, what I would do is I would immediately put an office here and staff it fully. But right now, it's working well to share the staff and only pay for one sunk location. And so I humbly ask you for this increase to help fund our extra work here. And I know that the arts are a huge economic impact driver here in Ulster County. I have actually seen it happen. One of the things I can tell you is, for instance, O Positive Festival. I hear that every time there's an O Positive Festival, realtors say, oh, we sell all these houses. And it's because people come here and they see what a lively scene is going on and how it's the kind of a community that you can actually move into and make friends and you know, have a really good life. And so the arts are actually a really important part of that. And we want to make sure to keep pushing it ahead. So thank you very much.
The second speaker is Daniel Torres.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Torres. I'm a lifelong Ulster County resident, the confidential secretary to the Ulster County Comptroller, and line PL 13151015 on Budget Amendment 8, which is slated tonight to potentially be eliminated. I wanted you to see me more than just as a number tonight, more than just the sole person to be potentially eliminated in a $324 million budget. I was the first intern in the Ulster County Comptroller's office, and I subsequently interned in the County Executive's office while at Mayor's College. Upon graduation, I accepted a position in Assemblymember Kevin Cahill's office, where I worked in constituent services. Right after accepting this position, I was even asked by a County Executive Hein to join his administration. But having just accepted employment, I opted not to accept his gracious offer. Additionally, I serve as the Deputy Supervisor for the town of New Paltz. I'm a former school board member, and I'm 3 credits away from a master's degree, a fact that my mother constantly reminds me of. While the Hudson Valley struggles to attract and retain millennials, I'm proud of the fact that I've grown up here, went to school here, and purchased a home here. It's always been my goal to work to make my community better, and every day I work to accomplish that. I hope that you reject this budget amendment that will not just hurt me. It will also hurt 3 union employees, carry out a political vendetta, and greatly diminish the ability of the Office of the Comptroller to do their job. Should you vote to eviscerate our office, I'm sure I'll find another job, and I'm sure I'll continue to serve my community in some capacity. But come January, the Office of the Comptroller, they'll formalize what their plan for auditing and reviewing for 2017, and they'll have to pause. They'll have to question if doing their job on a day-to-day basis will result in another position being cut. That's not fair to them, but it's especially not fair to those who voted to create the charter. I'm aware that some of you do not believe in our office, or do not care for our current comptroller. I suggest if you feel that way, that you move to amend the charter, and or tell the public to vote their opinion at the polls, as it is the electorate that has believed in Elliott and continues to re-elect him to the office. When you consider the amendment that includes eliminating PL 13151015, know that you're not just removing me, you're removing independence of the office that oversees the operations of the entire county. You're stating that you are all right with utilizing the budget to validate political fights, and you're going against the will of the people who enacted the charter. I hope that you, as members of the legislature, vote to fully restore the budget for the Ulster County Comptroller's Office. Thank you.
And the last speaker signed up is our Comptroller, Elliot Auerbach.
Thank you. Good evening. I guess if I was going to entitle this speech, it would be "What Unites Us is More Important Than What Divides Us." As I stand here before you tonight, the Office of the Comptroller faces an uncertain fate. You'll be asked momentarily to vote on 2 budgetary amendments, one of which reverses in total the $200,000 in punitive cuts proposed by the county executive. The other defunds our confidential secretary position and reduces the hours of 3 CSEA personnel from 80 to 75 per pay period. Absent full restoration of our budget, the productivity of our office, and thus the services afforded to the county as well as the taxpayers will suffer. Our confidential secretary is the first face you'll likely see when walking into our office. The position oversees the myriad of administrative and organizational tasks that we deal with every day, while plugging any gaps that may arise in a small workforce of 7. From picking up a ringing phone to handling our website responsibilities to overseeing our internship and recognizing success programs to actively assisting our auditing team. This position currently receives the least amount of hours and is the lowest paid within our office. I implore you to restore the funding for our confidential secretary, or else 6 other staff members will be required to assume his workload in addition to their own. A 5-hour reduction to each of our 2 claims auditors and 1 senior auditor will impede our timely fulfillment and completion of bank reconciliations, claims certifications, payroll verifications, and certain requests from the Department of Finance requiring instant action. Many of the core functions prescribed to us by the Ulster County Charter will be greatly impaired if these 3 CSEA personnel are forced to do more in less time. The budget of tomorrow should reflect the Office of the Comptroller as it exists today in 2016. Since the beginning of 2015 through October 31st of this year, the Comptroller's Office has issued 46 program, risk, and internal audits and reports and monitored well over a dozen unique county revenue and expense centers. It's audited over $276 million in vendor payments that comprise more than 48,000 invoices. It's audited and tracked over 1,000 county contracts, audited over 72,000 payroll checks that totaled more than $143 million, reconciled nearly 50 bank accounts, prescribed generally accepted accounting methods for correction of payroll records, provided monthly collateral analysis, and performed annual bank confirmations. In 2016 alone, we were the catalyst behind abandoning a $3 million contract with a special education provider that had its operating license revoked. We were responsible for over $90,000 in direct savings to the county by identifying and remedying claims errors, and we highlighted the deficiency associated with an outdated, incomplete $40,000 information technology disaster recovery plan. This year, our more than 30 audits and reviews range from a small equipment inventory of the Department of Public Works to a report on the Sheriff's Commissary account to an analysis of our top not-for-profit service providers. Rather than political or personal spin, these are numbers and figures by which my office should be judged. We look forward to building on our successes of the past year and to foregoing an even greater collaborative relationship with the legislature in 2017. But I must stress that we will not be able to do more with less, as some may possibly suggest. Mr. Chairman, I thank you and I thank the members of the legislature for your thoughtful consideration during this arduous budget cycle. If left between something and nothing, we would obviously prefer something. However, it's my arching hope that you will vote tonight to make our budget whole and empower us to be the best office we can in 2017. I leave you with these words again. What unites us is more important than what divides us. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes public comment. Majority Leader Mayo, do we have a motion to block some resolutions together this evening?
Yes, we'd like to block resolutions 480 to 484.
Agreed. All in favor of the block?
Aye.
Opposed?
The resolutions are adopted 22-0.
But should we say a short yes?
Yeah, the motion was to block them, not to adopt them, correct?
Yeah.
So we're a short yes.
Short yes.
The resolutions are adopted 22-0. Resolution 485, adopting the Ulster County budget for fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2017, and making appropriations for the conduct of county government.
There are a number of amendments at the desk, and there are amendments on your desks. We are going to start this evening with the amendments that failed the Ways and Means Committee, amendments 6 through 13. The first amendment, Vicky, would you like to read the first amendment, the title of the first amendment?
Appropriating funds for an Ulster County housing study.
Legislator Donaldson.
A recent study that was done by United Way dealing with what they refer to as the Alice people. They're the ones that fall in between that of poverty and that of actually being able to survive. And when you're looking at this, we took a look at, if you look at the study, it is over 320 pages long. I spent a few hours yesterday running through pieces of the study, and I noticed some things that are in there that were that jumped right out at you. One of the things is that those people that are renting in Ulster County, 66% of them are paying over 30% of their total budget in housing. Now, that is a number that they're not supposed to get near, but they're paying over 30%, 66. It is the worst in the entire state of New York. So when we take a look at this, we need to take a look at having some type of a housing study. The numbers we put in there, it may not be enough, probably will not be enough. But it's a commitment, and it's a commitment that we need to take. We'll have to go out to RFPs. We'll have to study on how we're going to actually spend that money. I certainly wouldn't want to just say, oh, yes, just throw it in there. And I think we can do that. We've been successful in the past in doing such things, and I would hope that we would be successful in the future. So I will be supporting this amendment.
On the amendment?
We're short now.
Sure, yes.
The amendment fails 11 to 11.
Amendment number 7, increasing the funding for Arts Mid-Hudson. Legislator Hepner.
Thank you, Chairman. I've been in communication with a lot of the legislators here, so I'll be short. I'll just reiterate the impact our investment in the arts has in our community in terms of economic development. If you go back to any of your districts, the restaurants, the local shops that benefit from these projects that are funded. And I just want to add too, these are projects that are funded throughout the county. Whether you're on this side of the aisle, the next side of the aisle, there are communities that have benefited from our investment in the arts and our cultural institutions. So again, thank you.
Legislator Berkey. No.
Is it on? Okay. Yeah, I'd also like to speak in support of this. When I was Deputy Director of Planning and actually sitting on the Arts Council for Ulster County, I presided over its dissolution. It wasn't functioning well at the time, and came to Legislator Donaldson, Chairman Donaldson at the time, with the Linda's predecessor, and we managed to get the $50,000 approved at that time, and they implemented, this is the Arts Mid-Hudson, implemented this program with a very small amount of administrative fees. The work requires a lot of hand-holding, a lot of service provision, and a lot of capacity building with these organizations. They deliver, for the small grants that they get, incredible amounts of activity that support economic development. It is one of the key drivers of tourism to Ulster County, and congratulate them for the way that they're doing this work. And I think that in order to do it better, I trust implicitly the work that Linda and her staff have done, and I urge you to vote for it. Thank you.
We're a short yes.
We are. Is it working? Okay, great. We are a short yes. Oh, with one abstention, Mr. DeLon.
The amendment is adopted 21-0 with one abstention. Legislator DeLon.
For reasons of.
My wife currently has a grant application.
Just following what we all say. Thank you.
Good point, Madam Majority.
Thank you.
Amendment number 8, restoring the county comptroller's budget. Legislator Donaldson.
Well, when we take a look at this budget, the way it's come down, we all know there's been a vindictive nature to it. No other elected official face any real cuts, not the county clerk, not the sheriff, not the DA, not the judges, not the legislature, and certainly not the executive. These cuts meddle with the elected comptroller's ability to do his job, and it contravenes with the specifics of the charter passed by the voters of Ulster County. Now, if this body is successful in carrying out this vindictive, water-carrying, bullying action, there may be legal consequences. The idea, and then to follow that, the idea of a specific position in the duly elected officer's budget is targeted further proves this is vindictive in nature and contrary to what we as elected officials should ever stand for. You know, at the same time, what has been refused by the committee is a similar amendment to cut the executive's office, even with the reality that his office budget is actually either the highest or between the highest and the third highest per capita among county executives within state of New York when I tried to compare apples to apples. But in reality, I believe he's the first highest because he has a number of positions that are hidden in different places. We have people that are, that run economic development that report directly to him, even though they're in the planning department. So they are not appointed by us, and they are not CSEA members. And there's a lot of them around. And his staff actually has the highest average salary among all executives in the state. In fact, 10% of the least.
Point of order.
The amendment before us.
Well, I want to sum it up.
Well, there's another amendment later on.
No problem. No problem. I'll sum it up then for you, all right?
Please do, thank you.
So the committee basically took the part of bullying the comptroller, but became wimps when confronted considering the executive budgets.
Legislator Donaldson, could you keep your comments on this amendment, please?
I am.
The name calling.
I am. So when will we start to act like a branch of government rather than a department? Not sure. But here and now is the place to stand up and restore the ability of the duly elected office of controller to carry out his charter responsibility as dictated to by the voters of Ulster County.
Legislator Parity.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When you attack people or things in a laser-like way, there are sometimes successes and sometimes it can come back to haunt you. I'm just going to pass on one comment and you'll know exactly where I'm coming from. I used it in our caucus the other day, the Rick Perry situation. You all know Rick Perry? He was the governor of the state of Texas. There was some folks in Austin that had statewide responsibility to supervise and review the operations of the elected officials around the state. Governor Perry didn't like the job the lady did, didn't like her. So he eliminated her, eviscerated her budget, reduced the opportunity for her to do her job. He did it, as he said, because I can. I can. This attempt to eviscerate the controller's responsibilities is very much in parallel with that, because it's a corrupt mentality to say, I can do it because I can. And with all the problems in the state of New York with money, etc., I don't believe any of those folks went into this thinking they were going to break the law, but they developed a mentality of corruption. And I might add that Rick Perry today is under indictment for abuse of power. It hasn't been in court, so I think we're looking at something like that if we don't restore the money and let the controller do his job, or if we're going to reduce it, sell the case. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Legislator Gerentine.
Yeah, this is very tough. I mean, I can assure you that the Ways and Means Committee looked at this, evaluated this in many different ways. We have no political agenda here as a Ways and Means Committee. We are not supporting the Controller's Office or the County Exec Office. We are doing our job regarding the budget. And if you look at exactly what we have done here is that the County Exec has actually taken over about $200,000 out of his budget, and we restored over $100,000. So I don't think that in the
Legislator Gerentine, if we're gonna, on this amendment, please, the same as was with Legislator Donaldson.
Okay, so on this amendment, basically, or is the fact that why are we proposing or not supporting or supporting this amendment, correct? All right. Me personally and the Ways and Means unanimously voted to say that there would, on this amendment that was, or the amendment that came forth, did not have the support for numerous reasons. We basically went back when the office was started in 2009. They had, every position was hourly position of 70 hours a week. Today we have positions that are 75, 80, 75, 75, 70, 80, and 80. There again, it was told to the controller back in 2013 to his office. He came in with the raises for his personnel. We basically told him at that time, we will not give you any increase in your salaries for your personnel. He circumvented that and increased hours on all, not all of them, on all of them at that particular time from 35 to 37 and a half. And, you know, we did not find out until it was actually implemented. And I think that had a lot to do with our failings. But there again, you know, the bottom line is we restored monies back, or we were proposing on another amendment to restore monies back. And we are not taking a position of being vindictive in any way. We are not holding up what the county exec said, because we'd keep it at a cut of $200,000. So I think we were very independent what we did, why we did it, and I would be against this resolution.
Legislator Donaldson for the second time.
So we're looking at what you're talking about is they'd rather cut the baby in half, but the reality is that you are actually carrying out a vindictive political agenda. Whether you like it or not, you're carrying the water.
Legislator Belfiglio.
From the beginning, the battery's dead.
A point of information for the legislature, we're almost at a solution to this problem. We're hoping to have it done by January.
Okay. In the county executive's proposed budget, and I've said this to many in my caucus, is that the county executive took the easy way out with this office. For the common person, the common taxpayer, the comptroller's office means little to them.
So he decided to take the easy way out, in my opinion, and cut the $200,000 from the comptroller's office, therefore giving the hard decision and the unpopular decision to the legislature. County executive has done this in many budgets since I've been on this legislature. But please know that it is a difficult decision. It is not an easy decision. It landed on our desks in Ways and Means Committee because the county executive took that money out of the budget. It was easy for him to do. It's not that easy for the legislature to restore that full budget. So I am not voting for this amendment. I'm voting no on this amendment. I think we did the best that we could do. Could we do better? There's always someone that's going to say we could do better. But know that this was not our doing. I'm not going to talk about the next resolution restoring some of the funding back, but that was also a hard part to do. It was easy for the county executive to take $200,000 out. I'm voting no.
Legislator Parity for the second time.
Second time, to be brief. The right thing to do is to vote the right way. Vote to restore it. It's pretty simple. It's not convoluted and it's not difficult.
On the amendment?
We are short no with 1 yes. Legislator Fabiano.
We are a short yes with the following noes. Legislators Briggs, DeLon, Lauren, and Rodriguez.
The amendment is defeated 8-14.
Amendment number 9, appropriating expenses for an Esopus Creek summer camp.
We
On the amendment?
are a short no with 1 yes. Legislator Waro.
And Fabiano.
Sorry, and Fabiano. That was my fault.
We are a short no with the following yeses: Allen, Donaldson, Green, and Lauren.
The amendment is defeated 6-16.
Amendment number 10, appropriating expenses for an additional DA investigator. Legislator Allen?
No, this one's working. So in the Ways and Means Committee, our district attorney, Holly Carnwright, he made a plea for us to have a special investigator added to investigations that were specifically going to earmark targeting drug dealers that deal heroin and prescription pills in Ulster County. I think as a legislative body, all of our constituents are continually asking us to do more to combat the opiate addiction problem in Ulster County. I think we have a situation here where we have an elected official on the county level, our district attorney, who is actually willing to put his reputation on the line, and he guaranteed to us that if this program didn't show results within 6 months, that he himself would take a hard look at it and he would come back to us and explain why it hadn't worked. I had made a comment to him that I understand programs like this take months, perhaps maybe even over a year to see results from it. That was his response to me. I think that speaks volumes of how strongly the district attorney is committed to hiring a special investigator who would act as a law enforcement officer to handle investigations about opiate drug dealers throughout Ulster County. And if the program doesn't work, he's willing to stake his reputation on the line as an elected official countywide. I would urge people to vote yes on this. Thank you.
Legislator Gerentine.
Thank you. Yes, the DA did come to the Ways and Means, made a plea for this. After that, we had discussions with the DA and the sheriff. I had a conference call with both of them to see if there was some way we can work things out between those two offices to be accommodating to this investigator. What they came up with was a solution. I talked to Holly again today. Yeah, he would like a full-time investigator, but at this point what they're going to do between the DA and the sheriff office is have Billy Weishaupt, who is a very valuable investigator, very knowledgeable, very respected in the area, be head of urgent. and Urgent's going to take more responsibility regarding these investigations, especially in the city of Kingston, and where, you know, right now they're not focusing as much as they could, and that's what Holly wanted with this investigator. So as of speaking to him about the 2 o'clock this afternoon, he would still like us to fund it, but they're going to proceed that way. He feels it's going to help immensely with the whole situation. Our sheriff feels very confident that Urgent is going to have a better viewed upon by the city of Kingston, town of Ulster, and Saugerties, with Billy being there. And saying all that, Holly, I know he would like the investigator, but we'll see how it goes, and maybe next year, if we have some funding, maybe we can have that be included into that particular project. But I would suggest strongly that we continue without funding this project at this point.
On the amendment?
We are short no with the following yeses: Legislator Fabiano and Warwo.
We are a short no with the following yes. Legislator Allen.
Excuse me, Legislator Allen convinced me. I'll be voting with him.
We are a short no with 2 yeses. Legislators Allen and Lauren. Sorry, Donaldson. Sorry.
One thing that
The amendment is defeated 4-18.
Amendment number 12, appropriating funds for Christmas wishes of Ulster County. Legislator Belfilio.
Wait, you missed 11.
Sorry. Let me go back. I'm following along. I'm sorry. Amendment number 11, reducing the funding of the executive's office. Legislator Donaldson.
Of course, and somebody's got to stand up. You'll never do it. The point here is
Mr. Donaldson, let's be.
Well, if you're going to make comments, I'm going to make them in return. Understand that. I'm not going to sit by and idly if somebody wants to make a comment.
Not either.
Oh.
Legislator Mayo.
Okay.
All right. So what we have had, my take on it is they really don't need this part of the money that is in the budget for postages because they no longer have to do that.
Point of information. We're on the reduction in the executive's office. The postage is later.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I will speak on that, by the way. Well, we take a look at it, and the study that I have done, along with others independently, has come up with the idea that the county executive's budget is, if you compare apples to apples, is the third largest in the state per capita budget. And if you try to compare it in reality, I believe it is the highest. We also have if you look at the realities of it because of the hidden people, it probably is the highest. I report directly. And the average salary is almost 10% higher than any other in the state. So my take on it is, if anybody can handle this type of a cut, it's certainly the county executive's office. But I would not expect people to, vote with me because some people will stand up, some won't.
On the amendment?
Short no.
We are a short no with the following yeses. Legislators Donaldson and Parity.
The amendment is defeated 2-20.
Now we're on amendment number 12, appropriating funds for Christmas wishes of Ulster County. Legislator Belfilio. Nope.
I don't know why. I'm sorry. Breaking my own rule. Turning off the microphone. I'm going to go down with the ship on this amendment because I was the only one who voted yes for it in Ways and Means, and I believe maybe I'll get one more yes from my co-sponsor, hopefully, but I will be voting yes on this amendment.
On the amendment?
We're a short no with the following yeses: Bofilio, Warwo, and Fabiano.
We're a short no. Apparently we're a short no with the following yeses. Legislator Allen.
The amendment is defeated 4-18.
Amendment number 13, removing unneeded funds in the county's general postage line to reflect the cost of the recent countywide mailing. Legislator Donaldson.
Well, we certainly don't need this money in the air because we won't have another ballot initiative. You know, we're having basically a corrupt-minded ballot along with a corrupt-minded campaign for it. I won't call it corrupt, but it's corrupt-minded. So we don't need that money in there. So why don't we take it out? Very easy, and we could have saved some money for the comptroller's office.
Legislator Parity.
I mean, the only thing I'm going to say is I think it's spending this money on that referendum and the language in it were totally inappropriate. And I'd like to remind all those that voted yes to change the language, which was defeated in a 9-9 tie. All those that voted yes should vote yes on this amendment because they agreed that it was absolutely inappropriate and unnecessary. Thank you, sir.
On the amendment?
We're short now.
We are a short no with the following yeses. Legislators Donaldson and Parity.
The amendment is defeated 2-20.
We're going to move now to amendment number 1, moving budgetary findings into contingency. On the amendment?
Short yes.
Short yes.
The amendment is adopted 22-0.
Amendment number 2, as amended by the Ways and Means Committee, reducing funds for legislative appropriations and offsetting an interim reduction. On the amendment?
We're short yes.
We are a short yes with 1 no. Legislator Donaldson.
The amendment is adopted 21-1.
Amendment number 3, as amended by Ways and Means Committee, approving funds for a cyberbullying campaign.
We're short yes.
Very short yes.
The amendment is adopted 22-0.
Amendment number 4, increasing attrition savings to fund programmatic studies and auditing.
We're short yes.
Short yes.
The amendment is adopted 22-0.
Amendment number 5, amending the county comptroller's budget, also as no. Sorry, this was introduced in Ways and Means. Legislator Green.
I would like to offer an amendment to the amendment. I would like to offer the following amendment, that line PL 13151015 for the confidential secretary to the comptroller be restored. I will have to vote no on Amendment 5 if that is not the case. I think that is the one area where targeting is correct. That's the correct phrase. I ask everyone in this House to think seriously about if that is the right thing to do. So I propose that amendment.
I second the amendment.
And if I may I say one more thing?
Please.
I consider it a fair compromise. I think that the comptroller's budget is being gutted. It's been partially restored, but this one line really does need to be restored. Thank you.
I'll second it.
It's already been seconded twice. I'm going to ask a question here to our fiscal analyst, Don Quisnell. Mr. Quisnell, would that put our budget out of balance without a proper offset?
As the amendment is proposed, it is not budget neutral.
Can I recommend that the offset be contingency, as it has been in many others?
Thank you.
Are we voting on the amendment?
On the amendment, Legislator Donaldson.
Yes, I could support the amendment, and I would support the following amendment after that if this amendment passes.
We're short now on the amendment.
We are a short yes with 1 no on the amendment. Legislator Briggs.
The amendment is defeated 12-10.
Now, on the amendment.
We're a short yes.
We are a short no with 3 yeses. Briggs, Allen, Lauren.
You were short yes.
We're short no.
Short yes and short no with 3 yeses.
The amendment is adopted 14-8. That's it.
That
Nope, we got 486.
Right. There being no more budget amendments on the 2017 Ulster County budget, as amended. Legislator Belfilio.
I just want to say that outside of the debate on the comptroller's budget, I think that this budget is good for the taxpayer. It's probably more than we could have dreamed of this year, and I know that we used a lot of the fund balance to balance this budget. I do want to say that although I am going to be voting for this budget, I don't like the way there was inequity cast upon the different departments, especially a 20% decrease for the County Comptroller's Office. But all in all, I believe this budget is a solid one and good for the taxpayer. I'll be voting yes.
Legislator Donaldson.
I'm at a loss on how somebody can make a comment like that but go along with it. So I don't know.
On the resolution?
We're a short yes.
I'm a no. I'm a no.
Anybody else? I got you already. All right. We're a short yes with the following no's. Legislators Donaldson, Green, and Parity.
The resolution is adopted as amended 19-3. Resolution 486, adopting Ulster County's capital program for 2017 through 2022.
Legislator Green.
Yes, I'm strongly in favor of the adoption of the capital budget for 2017 through 2022. However, I would like to point out that I have been trying, both through the Climate Smart Committee and Public Works, to really understand the plan in the capital budget for energy efficiency, for implementing more energy efficiency and renewable energy. And I want to give credit for everything that has been done in the past with the past budgets. And there's some good ideas out there, but there simply is not a cohesive plan. And I'm hoping that that many of these improvements will occur in this budget cycle, this 5-year budget cycle. But I am not as confident as I would be if there was a real plan. Thank you.
Legislator Bartels.
I too will be supporting the capital plan, but I'd like to make a suggestion, one that I've made before, that certainly through the Public Works Committee, Legislator Fabiano, maybe a joint committee of Ways and Means, that we create a capital program committee to really drill down on the plan, on a long-term plan. In my term in the legislature, we've not, other than at budget time, and through individual resolutions that come up through the year saying, oh, that was part of the plan, we haven't had a discourse or a sort of a longer-term understanding beyond just the environmental impacts and initiatives in the plan. So working with Legislator Fabiano, I think that's something we should undertake in this coming year, starting day one. Thank you.
We're a short yes.
We're a short yes with 1 no. Legislator Donaldson.
The resolution is adopted 21-1.
That concludes. Oh, Legislator Jarentine.
Hey, I just want to make a comment. I want to thank the members of the Ways and Means Committee for their due diligence regarding coming to meetings, having input. All the legislators who had input during this budget cycle. It's not the best budget, but it's a very workable budget. We should be proud of it. It saves the taxpayers a slight decrease in their taxes, and hopefully we'll continue to provide the services we have in the past. So I'd like to thank everybody, every legislator for their input. Thank you very much.
And if I could, real quick, Legislator Donaldson, and then I'll call on you. I want to extend a personal thank you to our fiscal analyst who has worked tirelessly over the last few months with our budget consultants and on his own, writing up all of these amendments. Yesterday he was able to decipher what was at times a scattered committee meeting. And was able to put it down on paper in a balanced form in a really fast fashion. And I know he took requests from many members of this legislature. So I'd just like to give him a round of applause for the great job that he did. Legislator Donaldson.
And we promised not to cut your hours. And I want to thank you, Don, and you did a great job on this. And I want to thank the Controller because of the cuts in his office, we're able to actually have a reduction in taxes.
And on that note, the next regular meeting of the Ulster County Legislature.
I know we had a moment.
I didn't see you stand up, Legislator Allen.
We had a moment of silence already in the beginning of the meeting. I just was called to attention on the news today that today's the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. So I think we could all reflect on, the unity that this country showed with our European neighbors, and we were able to fight for freedom and what was right, and make America great how it is today.
And now, the next regular meeting of the Ulster County Legislature will be held on Tuesday, December 20th, 2016 at 6:30. 6:30, remember the time, in the Legislative Chambers, 6th floor, County Office Building. The Legislature's annual holiday party will follow. Everybody please RSVP to Fawn before December 15th. We'd like a head count. Legislator Litz?
Motion for adjournment, Mr.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Are we staying here? We're staying here, right?
Yeah, where we have it.
Economic?
Right here, we'll do it here.